What would you define as either the best or the worst? Who here knows who Tim Hawkins is? Okay, well, I don't know about you, but he's my favorite comedian. This exhortation is based off of one of his, I don't know what they're called, but one of his little skits, I would say. So, thank you, Mr. Tim Hawkins. Let's all admit we don't really mean it when we say something is either the best or the worst. If I say getting a new car, job, or a chance to get a lot of money is the best, then maybe I need to reevaluate my priorities. Now, I'm not saying that these things aren't nice. A new car can be a blessing if I'm having car trouble. A job can also be appreciated, as it is also a necessity, kind of. Sure, some things can be seen as the best. However, the best things should not become a higher priority in our lives than God, because that is idolatry. 1 Corinthians 10:14 says, "Therefore, my dear friends, flee from idolatry." Well, that just says it all right there, doesn't it? We just need to not actually believe it when we say that it is the best. Maybe we need to seriously rethink our use of that word, the best. Now, let's look at the things that are the worst. I could have my plans or flight canceled, maybe have my bank accounts hacked. I could say that's the worst, but what about the 10 plagues at Egypt? They had a river turn to blood, they had frogs, gnats, flies, dead cattle, boils, hail, locust, darkness, and the deaths of the firstborn. That's not good. They probably had worse than any of us probably ever will. In writing this, I thought, since my disposition in life isn't so bad, I should never complain again. Now, I know my heart's in the right place if I'm doing this in accordance to Philippians 2, verse 14. It says, "Do everything without grumbling or complaining." Now, I might say what I said before, but I think this is a lot harder for us to do than most of us realize. Why? Well, there are a couple of reasons. One, it's not like I'm not going to be upset when I stub my toe. Two, I think complaining is so embedded in our natures that we do it without really even thinking about it. We have developed habits and patterns of behavior, and it is really difficult to obey this command. And three, we are made in the image of God, which means we become angry at sin like he becomes angry. We might become sad at pain like he becomes sad. On the other hand, hopefully, we are joyous at the things that bring him joy. Like it says in the book of Genesis, chapter 5, this is the written account of Adam's family line. He made them in the likeness of God. As we are in sin, we will at some time in our lives complain about something or other. But this is not to say we shouldn't try not to complain. And we should all know why. Because it's pleasing to God not to complain. Because we heard earlier that we just shouldn't. It's not good. When I'm impatient is when I can misuse the analogy of what is the worst. One such example is one of my parents being stuck at a light or something for an extended amount of time. Now, I'll bet at some point they were thinking, man, this is the worst. But then they find that a little later, after the light, a car accident or another mishap had happened to another driver. That could just as easily have been them, you know? Then they would think, man, now that's the worst. I'm just glad that God saved that from happening to me. Let's make another example. We will take 3 common occurrences that happen on a daily basis. Maybe not to us daily, just around the world. 1, an unfortunate detour. This is when your usual route to a place you visit frequently is closed, taking you to a longer path. Oh, and I forgot to mention that you really need to go use the bathroom. How bad is this? Yeah. 2, you find yourself in the situation described in example 1. Now, you are upset to find that there are no places to stop along this detour. And I already pointed out that you need to make a pit stop. Now this is more frustrating. 3, as you continue along the road that happens to be a one-way street by some freak chance, you get caught by a freight train. That's not good. Now tell me, which is the worst? 1, 2, or 3? It's not hard to guess, but let me tell you a little surprise. None of these are the worst. You see, this is the point of the exhortation. There is no such thing as the worst, because something could always be worse than what we think is the worst. Now, there is a best, which can be found in God, but remember, there is always someone who has it worse than you. I will now end on a verse from a song most of us know. It's by Stephen Curtis Chapman. The song is Do Everything. As you do everything you do to the glory of the one who made you, because he made you, to do every little thing that you do to bring a smile to his face. Tell the story of grace with every move that you make and every little thing you do. Also remember, whatever happens, whether it seems good or bad at the time, it all works together for our good. And we need to enjoy the good for his glory and endure for his glory. Being grateful in all things. Thank you.